All right, so I'm gonna take you guys back to 2006. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about my story as an adult and how I got to this point and all the obstacles and adversity I had to go through just to get to where we are today. So 2006, I'm a senior in high school. I was at Gulliver Prep. Yes, Gulliver Prep. My dad made a good amount of money. I had every opportunity in life. That's why I was such an asshole, because I did so much stupid shit when I had every opportunity in front of me. So I'm at Gulliver. We had the homecoming game. So it was homecoming. I'm selling cocaine at the time. So I'm pretty heavy into the streets. We're carrying guns. We're getting probably an ounce a week of cocaine. I'm bagging it up into 20 bags. I'm selling it to everybody in the school. And at Gulliver, our parking lot's small, so only seniors and juniors are allowed to drive to school. So I was parking partners with this girl, and I would park my car. I had a black Ford Explorer. I would park my car at the Toys R Us parking lot, and then I'd go to school with her. And I would leave all the dope in the car, all the cocaine bagged up, because they would bring drug dogs to school sometimes to make sure, we weren't doing shit. So I would have the car there with the drugs, and then I would go to football practice, and then I would tell the girls the code, because the Ford Explorer has the code to the door, remember? So they would go grab the dope, and they would take it, and they would all hang out after school, do all that shit, whatever. And then I would come back to the car after football practice, and there'd be money waiting for me in the glove box. So they would literally do it for me. It was the best thing ever. I'm 16, 17 years old, making money, playing football. Like, I felt like I was untouchable at the time, and I could do whatever I wanted. And you know what I mean? Like, I had so much power back then because, we would fight all the time. We were the tough guys. We had money. We were getting the girls. So at that time, when you have that much clout and power and access, and even before Instagram, everybody knew who I was. I was Sean Casey. Like, you don't want to fuck with him. He's the man, blah, 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 blah. He got all the money, all the dope. He's got all his homeboys. So I just felt like I was untouchable. So I was living pretty reckless. So we have the homecoming game. We played Archbishop Carroll. I had one of the best games of my life. I had like 12, 13 tackles. I put a dude on the stretcher. Again, I feel like I'm untouchable. I'm hype as fuck. I got my girlfriend with me, who's my daughter's mom's now. And it was a great time to be alive. So we ended up going to the dance, and I had bagged up a couple 8 balls to sell at the parties. I had people who had requested some dope at the parties. So I brought the shit in the limo with us. And we go to the dance. Whatever we there, it was whack as fuck. But as I'm leaving the dance, I see the police and the administration getting out of our limo. It turns out some kid was throwing up. Like, he got drunk at the dance. He was fucked up. He's throwing up. And he wasn't even in my limo. But when they asked him who he was with, he pointed at ours. So just luck of the draw, they ended up searching our shit. They found a bunch of alcohol and stuff. I don't even know if they found the cocaine yet, but whatever. So they made us all call our parents and everybody going home. But my family was at my cousin's wedding in Maryland at the time, so I couldn't call anybody to go. So my coach ended up taking me away from there, and I got away. But then later on, they drug tested us all. I came out positive for weed. I never done cocaine in my life. I never, ever, 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 ever. I never snorted anything. I have a rule, I'll never snort. I used to smoke weed though, so I failed the drug test for weed. And then they kicked us all out of school for 9 weeks. They said, if you complete X, Y, and Z, like drug counseling, rehab, all this shit, then we'll let you back in school for the second semester. So I started doing the drug counseling, the rehab stuff, all the requirements I needed to get back in school. And at this time, I'm going to Palmetto. I went to Palmetto High School. But then I got hit with the So at this same time, I find out my daughter's mom is pregnant. So we're in high school, and I find out not only did I get kicked out of school that weekend, I guess I made a baby that weekend. So I get kicked out of school, and I get this girl pregnant. So I'm dealing with all that. I got to tell my parents I got to get a job, so I'm working, but I'm still selling dope on the side. But now everybody knows I'm selling dope, so I got to kind of hide it, even though I always denied it. But like, I was out here Front Street, you know what I mean? Like, we out here doing things that I can't even talk about on camera, just living that life, that street life, you know what I mean? And making a lot of money, but being reckless with it. We going out to the clubs all the time, partying. So whatever, I find out I'm having a baby, so I'm selling dope. I'm working at a Cheesecake Factory. So I would go on the weekdays, work in the Cheesecake Factory till like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Then sometimes I go straight to the club, and then we come back to high school. So I'm ripping and running, I'm serving, boom, boom, boom. And then I get kicked out of school. I did all the requirements I had to do for the drug counseling and all this stuff. I'm working, and I go back into school my senior year, and then I get into it with administration about a t-shirt and my attitude. They kick me out again. They're like, don't come back. We'll give you your diploma, just don't come back on campus. So I wasn't allowed to come back on campus. So then I moved to Key Biscayne while I'm still in high school. I got an apartment, I'm trapping heavy. My best friend around this time ends up catching a murder charge. He was on America's Most Wanted. I still take care of his daughter to this day. She's 18 years old, same age as my daughter. He's still in jail. He's been in jail for 19 years. He's got 6 more to go. So that just kind of can show you how we were living at the time. You know what I mean? This is my best friend. Just a lot of crime, a lot of stupid shit. So then I'm like, fuck that. I ended up catching a dope charge, a cocaine charge when I was 18. I ended up going to jail the night before my daughter's first Thanksgiving. So I missed my daughter's first Thanksgiving. I'm in prison for a cocaine charge. I ended up getting a year probation for that. I ended up failing the drug test while I was on probation. So I went to jail for 2 weeks. Then they reinstated my probation. Then I finished the probation. And I was trying to really do the right thing. So I went back to school for a little bit, but I just couldn't do it. So I started selling weed. I'm like, I don't want to sell cocaine because it's too much time. So I'm going to sell weed. So I started selling weed. And then about 6, 7 months later, I'm getting 100 pounds of weed every month. 150, you know what I mean? $500,000 at a time. We serving that shit in Gainesville, Tallahassee, all over the state, making $50,000 a month as a 21-year-old kid. And again, I felt like I was untouchable. Like you couldn't touch me. I'm in the club every night. I got money. I got girls. I got power. I got everything I thought that I wanted, but I never worked out. I never, ever, ever worked out. I used to talk shit about people working out. I was like, I carry a strap. I don't need to work out. You know what I mean? I lift the blunt. Like that mindset of like, oh, I got 6 stacks. What I need a 6-pack for? Just, you know what I mean? Because I was lazy. I was in that mindset of like, I'm a dope boy. Just I look back at it now and I was like, yo, what a fucking loser you were, how stupid you were. Like, you could have done something with that money and you definitely should have been working out while you were, if you're going to do something wrong, don't compound it and do even more wrong. Like, you should always be taking care of yourself. Even if you're in the streets right now, you should be working out every day. You should be reading. You should be trying to become a better person. That's just a means for financial income. You still should be working on yourself. And I really regret not working on myself all those years. So I ended up, there was a murder for hire on me. Some people tried to kill me because they thought I robbed them. I didn't rob them, but they thought I did. So they hired a confidential informant to kill me. They put $50,000 on my head. This was all in the newspapers, on the news. It was kind of a big deal, but whatever. They ended up locking me up for selling weed. I was selling a lot of weed, so they gave me 5 years for that, 65 months in federal prison. When I got to prison, after like a year or two, I started working out because I was like, I don't want to be like these guys that are in here, fat, lazy. Like, I just didn't want to grow up and be all the older guys that I saw in front of me. So I started to make a change. I said, I need to make a change. So I started reading books. I started working out. And when I started reading books and I started working out, I started looking at the people who I wanted to be like. And I started doing what they did. And I started reading books about people I wanted to be like. So I did what they did. And they get up early, they work out, they read, they pray, they meditate. You know what I mean? It's about frequencies and vibrations. So I started to really tap into that and being grateful for everything. I started, thank you for my toothbrush. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for my shirts. I just really started to practice that ultimate gratitude because although I was in prison, it was a much better situation than I could have been in. It could have been a lot worse. So I really had to tap into that and practice that gratitude. And my whole life started to change. The practicing gratitude, the working out, the reading, the working on myself. I became a new person. I started to feel different, look different, think differently. And that's what really got me started on this journey. But I still had 3 years left in prison. So I decided that I was going to be the best me that I could be. I started only reading books about personal development and fitness. I got 9 or 10 personal training certifications and senior fitness and nutrition stuff. I was like, when I get out of here, I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to get out and not have something to do and not be prepared for my release. A lot of these dudes aren't prepared for their release date. They're like, oh, I can't wait to get out. And I'm like, what are you going to do when you get out? You ain't acquired no new skills. You ain't acquired no capabilities. So when you get out, all you're going to know is what you know, and you're going to go back to the streets and then you're coming right back to prison. So I was like, that's not going to happen to me. So when I got out, I got a job at Legacy Fit. It was hard to get a job because of my background. So I had to try a lot of different places. It took me a few weeks to beg for a job at Legacy Fit. And it was like the perfect fit. My personality and their style was perfect. It was just go hard, do more, no days off, do more than what is required. And being up under Manning's wing is exactly what I needed at the time because he just never let up. You know what I mean? No matter what I did, it was never good enough. He always wanted more. And it's just more. And as deflating as that could be sometimes, it really made me become the best version of myself because I realized how capable I was to do all these incredible things. So I kept doing it. I made a name for myself. I started making good money. I started perfecting my craft. And then the next thing you know, a couple of years later, I'm one of, if not the best trainer in the city. And some things happened over there and I just felt like it was time for me to go. So I left that gym and then I opened up my own gym with one of my clients, who was one of my best friends at the time, and it hurt my heart when she stole the gym from me. We had it open for like a year. and she just wasn't doing what she was supposed to do as a manager. You know what I mean? She wanted to get paid a salary and she wasn't doing the work, so we would clash about that. And then, you know, she had the upper hand in the paperwork because we didn't do everything we were supposed to do. So on paper, it was they own 55%, I own 45%, because we had to sell 15% to her sisters because we spent so much money. And then when we didn't come to common ground on the decision, they just stole it from me. Like, I wish there was some other way to put it, but she stole the gym from me and tried to kick me out with nothing. They tried to steal my equipment. They stole the name, and recently they transferred the name back. So now they're Warfit and we're the only Raw Fit. But, you know, I could have, oh, life's not fair, this ain't fair, and just quit. But no, I was like, I'm gonna do another gym, fuck it. So I found a new business partner, I got a new space, we opened a new gym with the same name, and we've been ripping it here for almost 3 years now, and it's better than it ever could have been. And that's just because I have this mindset, like, I'm never gonna stop, I'm never gonna give up. And that all started from me going through prison. Like, I thought that was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me, and it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me, because I had to rebuild myself, and it gave me the time and the space that I needed to really break down my old life and start a new life. So here I am today, more disciplined than ever, stronger than ever, better than ever, because I made that change and decided that I wasn't gonna live like that anymore. And a lot of you guys don't want to live how you live anymore, but you won't make the change, the necessary changes. Like, you have to go all in head first or it doesn't work. That's why I'm so intense with this shit. And that's why no one can be around me, really, because they don't want to take it to the level that I'm taking it to. So I'm really just trying to find people, help me take it to that next level, and open up gyms all over the world and help people change the way I changed and help them have a great relationship with fitness, because it's going to change the way you think. It's going to change the way you move. It's going to change everything about you. And if everyone in the world is thinking better, moving better, more confident, more integrity, more values, like, you get that voice from God when you start to live a certain way, it becomes louder and more clear, and it's going to lead you to the direction we're supposed to go in. So I feel like right now I haven't really made any mistakes the last 12 months. I've been sticking to my script. I've been on my grind. I haven't been fucking around. I haven't been drinking. I haven't been partying. My only concern is moving forward with this gym and helping people change their lives in a positive way. And that's just my story. You know what I mean? A lot of adversity, a lot of poor decisions led me to where I am today, and I don't regret any of it. If I could change a lot of it, I would have made a lot different decisions. But, you know, everything that happened to me prepared me for where I am now, and I'm just making sure now I don't make those same mistakes anymore. So I'm ready to help everybody change their life and be better and make the world a better place.